I'm a 66.
But you're on this big boat. You've never been on anything like that before, right?
No.
And you got people bossing you around now. You got to do what everybody says. I mean, that's the last place you wanted to be, I'm assuming.
Well, you did duty when you're on the boat. I worked in a bakery going over.
But you didn't want to be there, correct?
No, I didn't mind going overseas. I mean,
they're young. Yeah,
would I ever have another opportunity? I wasn't going where they were fighting. I was going to Austria.
How old were you then? It's
51. I was
21 years old.
Oh, so they were young and all.
Well, at that point, like being in the army was still like seen as something amazing, right?
Yeah.
Seen as a high.
Yeah.
Everybody,
all his friends went in the service then.
I didn't resent my army career.
And what'd you do?
I was in an armored battalion, tank corps. Worked in a parts.
But it was 2 years of your life,
parts rooms,
right?
Just about 2 years. Came back and went right back in the restaurant. Should have stayed in the army.
But
why didn't you stay in?
Huh?
Why didn't you stay in?
I don't know. I had to come out and help Grandma and Grandpa run the restaurant.
Did anybody ever come up to you and say, Irmin, what are you going to do with your life?
No.
I mean, did you ever think about it?
No. No, I know I didn't want the restaurant business. I went into tree business.
Well, when you went in the service, is that when Helen and Nove came in the partnership?
Yeah, we went in partners on it, and Helen and Uncle Nove.
With the restaurant?
And I went partners, yeah. And I finally bought them out.
Didn't work out.
He didn't want to work.
Uncle Nove only wanted to stand behind the counter. Didn't want to go in the kitchen
to
do dishes. Yeah. But the restaurant had been open anyways, but then for some reason, Ma and Pa took them, because you went in the service, right? Yeah, and they took them to work with them, but it didn't work out.
Uncle Nove didn't want to work in a restaurant.
But 2 years that he was gone, then what did you? You got married.
I got married. I used to help in the restaurant. Yeah, had the beauty shop downtown. And on my days off, I'd clean Grandma's house and work a couple nights a week so Irmin could have off. Work every other weekend so Irmin could have off.
Where was Aunt Lila?
In Bath. They'd come home and they'd work sometimes so Grandma and Grandpa could go away.
I'd come home on furlough and work when I was in the service.
You come over, well, you mean furlough, but you were, how long were you in Austria?
About a year.
But you couldn't have come home from Austria, right?
No.
But I'd come home when I was here.
And there was nothing about the army that, you know, as far as it being too tough or too difficult or anything like that?
No, I had a great time. I went skiing in Austria. I
Did you?
had all those little blonde Austrian girls looking for Hershey
21,
bars.
why not?
Looking for Hershey.
And her name was Sylvia.
Oh, Sylvia, she was great.
You looked at Sylvia twice, maybe 3 times.
So
no, I had a good time. Played basketball on the battalion basketball team.
And you drove a tank, I understand, right?
On occasion, most of the time I was in the parts room.
Didn't you have to guard an ammo dump once?
I did. I used to. Well, everybody did. We used to guard these large ammo dumps with a rifle, no ammunition.
No.
Pitch dark, and you know how I'm afraid of the dark. I'd crawl in the cab of some big truck there and hide.
But Korea was going on at that time.
Yeah.
You could.
I never went to Korea.
Was there a reason it just worked out that way, or was there?
Well, we had to go protect Europe.
You went where they sent
you.
you.
Well, not everybody went to Korea.
I understand, but was there a reason you didn't go?
No.
Did you want to?
They didn't select his outfit.
They didn't send him.
Right. No, I didn't. Why would I want to go? Just shot at.
All right.
Were you afraid you were going to get sent?
No. No, the battalion I was in never was a consideration.
At 21, you're not afraid of anything, right? I mean, you know, you girls have traveled all over, right?
Okay, so so you came back, it would have been 53, and then there must have been a long time with the restaurant, because the restaurant went till when?
70, I think it burned.
No, well, no, isn't
Couldn't
it?
be
Well, I wasn't
70.
even born when you guys
Yeah,
had the
when was
restaurant.
down.
I'd have been-
1970 it burned down.
Absolutely not.
Why? Was it sooner?
I was born in 66.
Yeah, you would have been 4.
Wait a minute.
We didn't have the restaurant then?
No,
When they lived above the restaurant, you were
Yeah.
born,
the restaurant wasn't there.
wasn't it? Yes, it had to be.
Hmm.
I'm telling you.
No, wait,
There
it
was
had
no-
to be, because
Why,
when they
why,
had the
what are you basing
fire,
it on, Tom?
The 4-year-old's memory.
I'm
I'm telling. 1970. There's no way that restaurant was there.
I was in the tree business after the restaurant burned down. Because we got all
Were
these
you
pictures.
married when the restaurant burned down?
Was I married? I can't. Oh, I got married in
64. I bet you anything that restaurant burned down.
I don't think I was married when we had. I was in the tree business.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys.
yeah, we didn't have the restaurant, you know why? Because when you were baptized, we had the breakfast or the dinner at
Yeah.
Yeah, when did the restaurant burn down? That's interesting.
Karen was small.
I thought the restaurant burned down at around 1959, 58.
Well, when was Karen
Now it's
born?
in the
Yeah.
60s.
In the 60s?
What year was Karen born?
52.
57?
57, yeah, Karen.
57.
Well, we didn't have the restaurant when I got married. That was 64.
Okay,
I was in the tree business.
Karen was a little girl when the restaurant burned, because we were in Thousand Islands, and Mom and Pa were supposed to come, and they didn't come, and I called up, and Uncle George answered, and I says, Uncle George, what are you doing at my mother's house? Oh, I said, don't get nervous, honey, they just had the restaurant burned down. I said, oh my
Yeah,
God.
Jay-
So,
not get nervous?
and how did this happen?
Irmin burned it down.
No, the pinball machine caught on fire, right?
Yeah, pinball machine blew up.
It had a short in it.
Well, everybody was out of there. We had tenants upstairs. I ran up the stairs. I had a Weimer on her at that time. Would never go up the stairs. Never would, and wouldn't go down the stairs in the basement. But that night, I went upstairs. Davios lived there.
Yeah, Ken Devia, yeah.
I
his
went
mom
up
his
and
mother.
woke
married
them
Davio
up,
and his
and
mother.
the place was burning, and the dog went upstairs with me. He ran right up with me.
Oh, you were there when it burned.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were next door. We lived in Grandma's house.
Right.
Grandpa was washing his feet, and someone ran over. You know, he washed his feet every night without water. He drank a little tea with whiskey in it
Every night of his life. he
Every
washed
night of
feet.
his life. And someone ran over and says, Tony, your restaurant's on, Georgie Lewis, I think, said, your restaurant's on fire. No, we just closed, him and Doris Stone, they just closed it. And they looked and it was burning. And then they never opened it.
And you ran up in a burning building?
Well,
I
because they
ran
didn't come
upstairs.
Had to
down.
get the people out.
There
It
are
was-
smoke detectors?
It
Probably
was,
not.
No, I didn't have that.
it was Anna Towner and her son Ken, and his mother wanted me to marry him. She had a diamond and she says, you're going to marry Ken and you're getting this diamond. Well, give me the diamond first.
What's the story about you trying to rig the horse race at Vernon Downs?
I did.
What?
We
Still
didn't know.
lost.
And how did that go?
Well, I mean, I used to go to the track every night. We knew all the top drivers there. And John Gaines, who's, the Gaines' stables, owned a horse called the Great White Way. And Kyler Lundman, who was the biggest bettor at the track at that time, had a horse called Widower's Dream racing in New York. And they were going in a big stake race, and Bill Crane and I used to go to track. We had just gotten a check from the government for $5,000 for the soil bank program when we were planting Christmas trees. And we're up there one night, we're all half looped, and Kyler Lundman says to John Gaines, Gainesy, he says, I'll bet you $5,000 that my horse beats your horse the night of the stake race. No matter where they finish, seventh, one could finish last, one can finish seventh, but whoever finishes ahead of the other collects the money. And John Gaines, who was a $2 better or $5 better, took that fight. He was cracked like all of us. He took that bet, and like I said, Great White Way never lost a race. And Widower's Dream was one of the top horses at Yonkers. So the next day we're in the post office and John Gaines walks in and he's holding his head. Geez, he said, did I get drunk? He says, did I bet Kyler Lundman $5,000 last night And Bill says, yeah, you did. And John says, I can't believe that. And he says, you want half that bet? To Bill. And Bill says, Irmin, you think we ought to take it? We just got a check for $5,000. Bill says, yeah, let's take it, $2,500 a piece. So I told Bill, I says, Bill, great, Wood Stream's a tough horse. So he says, let's go to the track and talk to, I forgot that, Eddie Havens was driving Great White Way, Gaines's horse. So we went up, we told Eddie, he says, Eddie, we'll give you $500 if you'll help us win this race. We're fixing the race. We don't want you to hurt the horse, but you're right next to Widower's Dream. If you can box it in or something, help us out. Gene Sears was, no, Jimmy Cruz was driving Widower's Dream. And Gene Sears was driving Humaway, Dave Mix's horse, a good friend of ours. Humaway was a good horse, but he wasn't in that caliber race. I mean, he was in the race. He went off at 25-1. So anyways, Gene says, or Eddie Haven says, well, I'll help you if I can, but I'm not going to do anything to hurt the horse. He said, all right, we'll give you $500. So we gave him $500 and went up the track that night. The race started. The Great White Way never left the starting gate. He broke right in the starting gate. Never did that before. Widower's Dream finished 7th. Was the favorite in the race. Our horse finished 8th, so we lost the bet. Humaway, the horse that Dave Mix owned, wasn't supposed to even be. He wasn't that. He won the race and paid $52 for a $2 ticket.
And you also gave him $500.
We lost we lost $2,500.
But the horse that should have won, the horse that should have won never left the gate. Is the whole point, yeah. Right? You were trying to keep this horse.
Other horse from not leaving the gate,
right?
You know, box him in, and our horse broke. I told Bill, I says, you know, we're crazy. Here's Kyler Lundman, the biggest bettor at the racetrack. We give Eddie Havens $500. Kyler, what's his name? The other guy, big bettor. I said he probably went and gave Eddie Havens, our driver, $2,000 for breaking the horse. I said, that's probably what happened. Because the Great White Way never broke. He was a great racehorse. But he never won another race after that.
A lot of them races were fixed.
Huh?
A lot of them were fixed.
No.
So what happened then after this restaurant burned down? Then
were you kind of happy?
When it burned down?
Yeah.
Well, they wanted to rebuild it, and I said, no way, I'm not. They gave me the restaurant before it burned down, and I had left. Before the restaurant burned down, I left. And somebody asked me what I was going to do. I says, I don't know. Didn't go to college. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. And the guy said, why don't you buy some land or grow Christmas trees?
Because did you get money from the restaurant burning down, like insurance money?
This was before the restaurant burned down. They said, go buy some land and raise Christmas trees. I said, I don't know one tree from another. What do I know? So anyways, I bought 30 acres of land off the laws up in Smyrna. And I hired guys like Joe Dubio, all the big drunks in town who worked in the woods all their lives. These guys used to go to work. They'd have their flask full of whiskey. By noon, they were all drunk. Couldn't get any work out of them. But they taught me the forestry business. And that's how I got into it.
And how many acres did you have at your most?
About 11. I was in partners with Bill Crane in the business. I ended up buying Bill out. Then shortly after I bought Bill, I lost 50,000 Christmas trees in a forest fire. Set me back 5 or 6 years in planning. Some people started a fire on a windy day near their house just to burn garbage, and it spread out.
And you didn't have insurance for anything?
I could have sued them. They didn't have anything. I never sued them. They didn't have anything to start. What were you going to do? Elderly couple.
But you weren't insured either? Did you get insurance?
No, I couldn't get insurance for that type of thing.
But how much money? How many acres did you have at your highest
About
amount?
1,100 at one time.
You still have any trees there?
No.
Well, we had insurance in the restaurant, right?
Yeah, we had insurance in the restaurant.
So did you get the insurance money when the
No.
Well, Grandma and Grandpa would have got it to live on, right?
They had to rebuild the restaurant.
To convert it
Well done.
into
They had to rebuild the restaurant with the insurance money.
Yeah, they converted the restaurant into apartments. They wanted to rebuild it into a restaurant, and I wouldn't let them.
Well, but they were older too, you know.
And what do you remember about when Kennedy was shot?
Yeah,
Where were you?
I was working in the beauty shop.
And do you remember
I
that?
was working in the woods and heard it when we got out of the woods.
And then at the day of the funeral,
And the day they shot Ruby there was a Sunday.
Was that, yeah, what year did Kennedy get shot?
63.
63.
63?
When we used to have a Sunday lunch
Wasn't it
because I
before I
to
got
work.
married?
Mm-hmm.
And they shot Ruby there that day. Or shot that
And I had a
Oswald.
And
beauty shop here, and this lady needed a permanent. They were going to have their funeral, and I wanted to go see the funeral. She says, "No, you're giving me a permanent." So I said, "Okay." I put her in the dining room. It was a kitchen set in there that Grandma and Grandpa gave us when we were married. I put her in there and gave her permanent in there. When I could, then I'd have to bring her in here and rinse it. She don't have a permanent. I don't care.
and was it a shock, or was
yeah.
it? Were you too far removed from anything like that?
Everybody was, thrilled
Well,
over
the country didn't
Kennedy's.
fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, they were a young couple. They really made the White House. They were beautiful. She was a beautiful woman. Yeah, everybody was shocked.
And we had the restaurant, we had this guy named Frank Elwood, very, very wealthy guy. And he was a hermit. He had a farm up above Firma Mills Road. It's the first farm I bought outside of that piece I bought in Smyrna. He used to stop in the restaurant and eat all he could for $2 or something. Well, Phil Decker had the restaurant where the Sherburne Motel is. He had a little restaurant there.
The little counter.
And he
was
used to
there.
advertise, eat all the pancakes you want for 40 cents or something. Frank Elwood went there, ate so many pancakes, he fell off the bar stool. He had to call him back.
Yeah, they didn't have
And
ambulances then,
he was
right?
one of the wealthiest guys around. You wouldn't know he had a nickel.
Always
Or
wore rubber boots.
Rubber boots, yeah.
Rubber boots. They come up to his
Yeah.
knee. Them old. You see him going up the street.
He was like Paddleford.
Great big
Yeah.
barrel-chested guy.
You said you had the first television. I mean, what did you guys think when did you first see television?
We were just married when they got it, right, Don? And
Yeah, that's when they
I
first come
guess
out.
we
Had to
just-
be in
everybody
the
went there
early
at night and
50s,
watched
the color.
But I mean, for yourself, when you first heard about television, what did you think?
I don't know. Guess it was like a movie, going to a movie. You know,
Especially color. I mean,
it was black and white then, right?
Yeah, everybody only had
He
black.
Uncle
had a
George.
hard time adjusting. He had to fiddle with all the knobs to get the color.
Well, he worked off an antenna.
Uncle George had one, too. Was he the first or were you?
We
one?
were the first.
You were the first.
to
Uncle
have
George
color.
always had
Poor
everything.
reception. I mean, you're 50 miles from the.
But the restaurant had it, but did people have it in their home by
no,
then?
oh no,
No,
for a
no.
long time. No, we were married in 51. We didn't have one for a long time.
Yeah.
Probably till we moved here. But that was next year.
And what did you watch?
Ed Sullivan on Sunday night. Milton Berle's. Right? What else, Dan? The
See, how about
News.
the singers there? What's his name? Bing Crosby, him and
Yeah.
Bob Hope, all them guys.
Yeah. We didn't have all the programs they have today.
I don't think that they used to televise baseball. I don't know if they televised the NFL in those days. I
don't
can't
think just
remember.
I think baseball was the only one that
Yeah.
got any recognition then.
Did you you had a movie theater here, right?
Yeah,
Sure
but I
would.
had the beauty shop. I had the beauty shop where the parking lot is. Joe's parking lot.
Oh,
That was
That's
a
where I
big,
had a
that was a
beauty
big
shop.
building there.
There was
That
a-
was a
They called it the
three-story.
Opera.
the opera house. Oh, the movie theater was in the opera house.
The Opera
There
House
used to be the
upstairs.
post office was in there too, right?
Uncle Nove had a
And
pizza
that
place.
IGA.
Huh?
Remember the IGA?
Do you want to get in on this?
No, but the IGA
Okay.
was
We'll
there
listen.
too.
In the paint
Yeah.
shop. It was
Fagan's
at
Paint.
by Joe's was Helen and Mody, Viviana and Mody beauty shop, Fagan's paint shop.
Rainey's.
Wait a minute. But
Rainey
Rainey was after that, and then Records, IGA,
Mhm.
and then the furniture store. Uncle Nove had the pizza place
Movie
and the post
theater.
office, and the movies was upstairs.
And how often would you go to a movie?
I went to the movies to get away from Don one night. I told Grandma, "Don't tell him where I am." And I got done work, and I called. They'd come and get me, and he found out, and he came and sat
We
next
used
to
to
me.
go see Tom
Didn't say a word.
Apple on Cassidy.
Did Grandma and Grandpa go to the
You look
movies?
funny.
Yeah, well, before they had the restaurant, when we were young kids, we all went to. Remember, we'd walk to the movies because they didn't have cars. And I remember my father hit me on the rear end and said, "Stand up straight when you walk. You girls stand up straight." And he made us walk standing straight. Keep your posture up. Yeah, we all went. They bought us popcorn. You know, big treat. Everybody from the quarter went. Remember her? Yeah. That's when we were young, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have cars.